Okay, welcome to today's lecture. Today's lecture is all about what? Variation. Objectives. So first and foremost, I'm going to start by doing an introduction to variation. After that, I'm going to teach you about direct variation, inverse variation, joint, and last I'm going to solve some examination questions that fall under what? Variation. So what is variation? So in mathematics, we use the term variation to describe specific relationships between two or more variables. So just by the term variation, it's something that involves what? Change. So in mathematics, variation just describes relationships between two or more what? Variables, and these variables, they are quantities that are varying or what? Changing, which are not what? Fixed. So in this topic, you learn about the following kinds of what? Variation. You do some direct variation, after that inverse variation, and what? Joint what? Variation. Okay, now let's do direct what? Variation. So in a direct variation, as one variable increases, the other variable increases as well. As the value of x increases, the value of y increases as well. So let's see what's happening here. So as x is increasing, y is also what? Increasing. So therefore the graph is a what? Straight line like this, where this y and x are what? Variables, while this k is a what? Constant what? Variation. So k is a what? Constant variation. So k is a what? Constant what? Variation, where this same k should be what? Greater than what? 0. So x, y and x are variables. These vary, they change. So let's me show you some expressions that you're supposed to know for you to be able to answer examination what? Questions. So when they say y varies directly as x, how can you write that? So when they say y varies directly as what? X. So before you write x, you need to write k in front of what? X, like that. Don't forget the constant what? Variation. This one is constant, so it must be in an what? Expression. So when they say something like y varies directly as the square of x, so you're going to write it like this. So y varies directly as the square of x. So before you write the square of x, you need to write k in front, like that. Then you write the square of x, like that. Again, when they say something like y varies as the square root of x, you should write it like this. So y varies directly as the square of x. Before you write the square of x, you need to write k, the constant variation, and then you write the square of what? Square root of x. So square root of x, like this. So this one is the square of x, but this one is the square root of what? X. And then when they say something like y varies as the cube of x, how can you write that? You can write it like this. So y varies as the cube of x. So you need to write the constant first in front, then cube is what? Power 3, like that. So if you're able to come up with these expressions, then you can answer examination what? Questions. So let's do an example so that you can understand this fully. Okay, now let's do an example so that you can understand fully. So given that y varies directly with x and y is equal to 8 when x is equal to 6, find a, which is k, the constant variation. So they want k, the constant variation in this case. So let's start with this same one. So solutions. So hey, how can you solve this type of equation? So first thing, you need to come up with an expression like the way we are doing, and I'm sure you agree on whatever we are from doing there. So here now, let's come here. Given that y varies directly with x, so how can you write this as an expression? So you start with y is equal to y varies directly with x. So before you write x, there must be k in front of what? X, like that. That's how you're supposed to do it. Once you do this, then you're safe. Now what's remaining is just to substitute. The question is saying and y is equal to 8. So you need to come up with your data your y has been given to be 8, and then x is equal to what? 6, and then you're looking for k, which you don't know. So let's now substitute. Now your y is what? 8 is equal to, you're looking for k, and then your x is what? 6. You want k, so we're going to say over 6 so that we can cancel this side. Then your k is equal to, you know that 2 can go into 8 and what? 6. So 2 into 8, it's 4. Then 2 into 6 is what? 3. So that's your constant variation, which is 4 over what? 3. Now let's go to B. How can we solve for B? So B is saying find y when x is equal to what? 3. So here they want y. They want y when x is equal to 3. So on your data, you can do like this. They want y here. We don't know when your x is equal to what? 3. And then your constant we are from solving, which is 4 over what? 3. And then we need to write this same expression we used at first. So y is equal to kx, like that. What they want is y. So y is equal to, what's our k? It's 4 over 3 times, what's our x? That's 3, like that. So what do we do now? We want the value of what? Y. So y is equal to, you know that you can multiply if you want 4 times 3, it's 12. 12 divided by 3, that's what? 4. Or if you want, you can cancel this and this, it can go. Then you're going to remain with what? 4, like that. That's your answer. Now let me solve for C, which is the last one. So what is C saying? So find x when y is equal to 24. So let me come up with my data here so that I will know what I will be solving for. So here I want x when my y is equal to what? 24. And then my k I know, which is 4 over 3, like that. So here I'm going to use the same expression, which is y is equal to kx, like that. Then here, if I want, I can make x the substitute formula, since it's the one I'm looking for, or I can just what? Substitute. So here I'm just going to substitute. So what's our y? Our y is what? 24 is equal to, what's our k? That's 4 over 3 times x, like that. And then here, what are you going to do? So here you have seen this 4 is having over 3, but this one is not having, so you can balance it by saying over 1, and then you can do cross what? Multiply. So what is 1 times 4 times x? So what is first 4 times x? That's 4x. 4x times 1, that's 4x, like that, is equal to, and then what is 3 times 24? 3 times 24, we can multiply it, but it's going to give us a big number, so it can be difficult for us to start dividing. So what we do is, this is paper 1, what you do is just write 24 times what? 3, instead of multiplying, giving you the bigger number. No, because you have some difficulties in terms of what? Dividing. So here you're looking for x. So what are you going to do? You're going to say over 4, even here over 4. Then you cancel here, x is equal to, like this. But you know that this 4 can go into what? 24. So here 4, here 1. 4 into 24, that's what? 6. 6 times 3, that's what? 18, like that. As simple as that. Then you are done. So now let's go to inverse what? Variation. Now let's do inverse what? Variation. So in an inverse variation, as one variable increases, the other variable decreases. As the value of x increases, the value of y decreases. So this one is different from the direct one. In a direct one, as x was increasing, even the value of y was what? Increasing, but not with inverse variation. So here, as x is increasing, the value of y is what? Decreasing, as you can see on the graph. So the graph is falling, going to the what? Pointing to the what? To the x what? Axis. So as the value of x is increasing, y is what? Decreasing. So therefore, a graph with a slope, it's pointing to the what? X what? Axis. And then in here, x and y are what? Variables. While k is a what? Constant what? Variation. So k is a what? Constant. K is a what? Constant variation. And then this same k should be greater than what? 0, like that. And then even here you need to know those expressions we were doing on what? Direct what? Variation. So if they say y varies inversely as x, how can you write that expression? So you're going to write it like this. So y varies inversely. So inverse is the same as over. So here you're going to write k first, and then you say over what? X, like that. So it's different with direct. Direct, everything was in a what? Straight what? Line, like that. The value of x and y was straight like that. But here, as you hear the word inverse, over should come into your what? Mind. And then if they say something like y varies what? Inversely as the square of what? X. How can you write that one? So we're going to write k as the square of x down, like that. And then if they say y varies inversely as the square root of x, so we can write it like this. So y varies inversely as the square root of x. So here we're going to write k over the square root of what? X. And then if they say y varies inversely as the cube of x, so how can you write that? So it will be like this: y varies inversely as the cube of x. So here I'm going to write k over the cube of what? X, like that. So you need to know this. This is very much what? Important. So let's do an example so that you can understand fully. Okay, now let's do an example so that you can understand. Given that y varies inversely with x and y is equal to 4 when x is equal to 7, find the constant of what? Variation. So how can you find the constant of variation, or in other words, how can we find for k? So let's do it. Solution. Okay, so for a, so first thing we need to come up with an expression connecting y and what? X. So y varies inversely with x. What does that mean? So y is equal to, before I write x, I need to write what? K. Now inverse is the same as over, like that. And then I need to come up with the data. I need to know what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for k, which I don't know. And then what's my y according to the equation? Y has been given, that's 4. Then what's my x? X is equal to what? 7 according to the equation. So here I'm looking for k. So how can I find for k? If I want, I can just substitute direct, or I can even make k the subject of what? Formula. By doing this over what? 1, I balance it. Then I do close what? Multiply. So what is 1 times k? It's k is equal to, what is y times x? So that is y x, like that. And then my aim is to solve for k. So what is your y? Y is 4 times, what is your x? That is 7. So therefore k is equal to 28, because 7 times 4 is 28. So let me solve for b. So b is saying find the equation connecting x and what? Y. So how can we find the equation connecting x and y? So in fact you have already found the equation connecting x and y, which is y is equal to k over what? X. But don't forget that we have found k, which is 28. K is 28. So we're going just to substitute there. So y is equal to 28 over x. That's the final answer. That's the equation connecting x and what? Y. Then let's do C. So C is asking us to find the value of what? Y, if x is equal to what? 2. So let's come up with our data here. What have we been given, and what do they want? They want y, which we don't know, and then our x is equal to 2 according to the equation, and then our k is what? 28, like that. So let's use the same expression we came up with at first. So it's y is equal to k over what? X, like that. Our aim is to solve for y. So y is equal to, what's our k? Our k is 28 over, what's our 2? What's our x? Sorry, it's 2. And then y is equal to, how many times can 2 go into 28? That's what? 14. Then you're done. Just like that. As simple as that. So let's do now joint what? Variation. Okay, now let's do for joint what? Variation. So a joint variation is a variation where a quantity varies directly with a product of two or more other what? Quantities. For instance, if y varies directly with x and also with z, we say that y varies jointly with x and z. This becomes y is equal to k, x and what? Z, where k should be greater than what? 0 and k is a constant what? Variation. So a joint variation varies directly with a product of two or more other what? Quantities, unlike for direct and inverse what? Variation, which was just having one quantity or what? One what? Variable. So here you need to be familiar with some other expressions that I like to come in an exam. For example, you have an equation which is saying A varies directly as what? B. So you need to write like that. And also with what? C. That's how you're supposed to do it. And then you can have something like this. A varies directly as the square of B. So A varies directly as the square of B, and also with what? C. So you can have something like that. Then you're done. And then let's do another one. You can have something like, so this one is involving direct. Now we can have something which is involving direct and what? Inverse. And this one is, it's one that comes mostly. So you can have something like this. A varies directly as what? B. So A varies directly as what? B. And inversely as C. So that's how you're supposed to do it. Again, you can have something like this. A varies directly as what? B. And the square root of what? C. So square root of C, then do like that. If it's saying power, you write power. If it's saying cube, you write cube, just like that. And this one, they like this one. This one, you need to know it. It's very much what? Important. Now let's do an example so that you can understand what I'm from explaining. So example 1. P varies jointly with Q and the square of R. And P is equal to 3 when Q is equal to 2 and R is equal to what? 3. Calculate the constant what? Variation. They want the constant variation, which is K. So solutions. So for A, so the first thing, I need to come up with an expression. So P varies jointly with Q. What does that mean? So P varies. So before I write Q, I need to write K like that. P varies jointly with what? Q, and this and the square of what? R. So and the square of R. So like this. That's how it's supposed to be. Then you're done. So for an expression, you're done. Now you need to substitute because they want K, which is the constant what? Variation. So what's our P according to the equation is 3. And then what's our Q? Our Q is 2. And then what's our R? R is what? 3. And then our K is what? It's the one we're looking for. We don't know. So since we don't know K, what can we do? We can make K the substitute formula. So by dividing these two, Q, R, both sides, Q, R, like this. So you can cancel this, cancel that. Therefore, K is equal to P over Q, R squared, like that. Then we can substitute now. So what's our P? Our P is 3 over, what's our Q? Our Q is 2 times, what's our R? Our R is what? 3 to the power 3, like that. So therefore, we're going to have 3 over, we're going to have 2 times, what is 3 to the power 2? Same as 9. 3 times 3, that's 9, like that. And then we can have something like this now. So we're going to have 3 over, what is 2 times 9? That's 18, like that. Therefore, we know that 3 can go into 18. So 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 18, it can go how many times? 6 times. So the answer is going to be 1 over 6, like that. So our K, final answer for K is 1 over 6, like that. Then you're done. Now let's do for B. Let's solve for B. So the question is saying determine the equation that relates 3 variables P, Q, and what? R. So how can we determine the equation that is connecting or relating these three variables p, q, and what, r? So just by the question saying p value is jointry as what, q, and the square of what, r, square of r. In fact, we already determined the equation. So this is the equation. Now don't forget that we know the value of k, which is 1 over what, 6. So we're going to substitute this where there is what, k. Where there is k, we're going to substitute is what, 1 over 6. So p is equal to 1 over 6 q r squared. Then you are done. Then you have determined the equation relating these three variables p, q, and what, r. Now let me do for c. So c, what is c saying? Calculate the value of r when p is equal to 4 and q is equal to what, 1. So let me come up with a data. So data like this. So r, I don't know, haven't been given, that's what we're looking for. And then p is equal to what, 4, q is equal to what, 1. Don't forget our k is equal to what, 1 over 6. So let's use the same expression. P is equal to k q r what, squared. So let's try to substitute now. What's our p? Our p is 4 is equal to what's our k? That's 1 over 6 times what's our q? Our q is 1 times what's our r? It's 1 we're looking for, which is squared like that. So here what you need to know is here this side you're having over 6. Here you can balance it by saying over 1. And then what are you supposed to do? You can multiply. What is 1 times r? So here you're going to have 4 over 1 is equal to 1 times r, same as r squared over 6. Then you can do this now. So what is 1 times r squared? So that is r squared is equal to what is 4 times 6, that is 24. Now they just want r, they don't want the root, this power 2 here. So how can you get rid of the power? You can introduce the what, the square root like that. Then you cancel. Therefore your r is equal to positive or negative root of what, 24, because 24 has no perfect what, square. Then you are done. Okay, now let me do this exam question that came in 2018 for GCE. So the question is saying two variables x and y have corresponding values as shown in the table below. So we're having for x, you can see there is 2, 3, and a, and then y we're having 20, 40, and what, 1, 0, what, 4. Given that y value is dielectric as open bracket x power 2 plus 1 close bracket, find constant of what, variation. They want the constant of variation. So how can you solve this one for constant variation? So solutions. So let me start for constant what, variation. So first thing I need to come up with an expression. So how can I come up with it? So I'm going to come here, given that y varies dielectric. So y varies dielectric, this will be like this. Dielectric as what, this. So before I write this open bracket x power 2 plus 1 close bracket, I need to write what, the constant variation k, and then I do this x squared plus what, 1, like that. This is an expression. And then the question is saying find the constant what, variation. So constant variation, now how can I find it? What's my y? I need to know what my y is and my x in this question. So what's my y, what's my x? K, it's 1 we're looking for. So here you can come here on the table, you look where you have been given the variable for x and not for y. So here I'm having 2 for x, so x is equal to what, 2, and then for y you can use 20 like that. So and then you can just what, substitute. So your y is 20 is equal to k is 1 you're looking for. Your x, what's your x? Your x is 2 to the power 2 plus 1 like that. Then 20 is equal to, so here you can say k is equal to, so what is 2 to the power 2? That's 4. 4 plus 1, 5 like that. And then since I want to remain with k, so I can multiply k times 5, that's 5k. Now we want to remain with this k, the constant, so we divide by 5 over what? 5. You cancel, your k is equal to, what is 5 into 20? That's 4. So your k is what? 4. Then what? You are done. So let's do B. So B, what's B saying? Find the equation connecting x and y. They just want the equation connecting x and y. So the same equation we came up with, it's one which is connecting x and what? Y. Because in this equation you can see x and what? Y. Now note that you have solved for what? For k. Your k in this equation is what? 4. So where there is k, I'm going to replace it or substitute with what? 4. So y is equal to 4, open bracket, x squared plus what? 1, like that. And then you can distribute this by expanding. So what is 4 times 4? Is going to have 4x squared plus, what is 4 times 1? That is 4. Then you're done. So this is an equation connecting x and what? Y. Now let me do for C, which is the last one. So C is saying find the value of A. Find the value of what? A. Now when you look, where have you seen where A is? A is in x. Yeah, A is where x is. So A, where there is A, the same as that's where x is. So your data, where there is A, that's where there is x. And then down here where there is A, y is what? 10 what? Y is 10 what? 104. 104 there. And then what's your constant? Your constant is what? 4. This is what you're supposed to know. So this is our data. So it's the one that's going to help us to solve. So that's how you do it. So where you have been given a letter, that's a box where you're supposed to go, and then you need to know the corresponding variable which is there. So where there is A, that's where x is. And then down, y is what? 104. So that these are the two values that we're going to use here. And then let's try to substitute now. Let's try to use the same expression that we came up with. So we're going to have y is equal to k, open bracket, x squared plus 1, like that. Then our aim is to solve for A, and our A is same as what? X. So what's our y? Y is 104 is equal to, what's our k? Our k is 4. And then our A is same as A. Our x, is same as A. So to the power what? 2, because x is having power there, plus 1, like that. Then 104 is equal to, you're going to multiply this 4 throughout. So what is 4 times A squared? That's 4A squared plus, what is 4 times 1? That is 4. Then this becomes an equation. So 104 and 4, they're like 10. So 4 can go that side. So I'm going to have 104. When this 4 crosses the equal sign to become minus what? 4 is equal to 4A squared, like that. When you subtract 3, you're going to have 100 is equal to 4A squared, like that. Then you want to remain with A. So what are you going to do? You're going to divide both sides by 4, even here by what? 4. So you're going to have something like A is equal to, what is 4 into 100? That's it. You're going to have A squared is equal to 25. Therefore, we're going to have something like A squared is equal to 25. Now our aim is to solve for A, because the question is asking us to find the value of A. So we're going to kill this power 2 on top of A by introducing the what? A square root. So like that. So our A is equal to positive or negative what? 5. Two answers, positive or negative what? 5. Then you're done. As simple as that. So now this is your task. You're going to solve this 2019 GCE paper 1 at your own time. And then if you're having challenges, don't hesitate to contact me. And then there's another one, this one for 2019 paper 1. Sorry, this one was just an error. This one is for paper 1. So we're going to solve this one as well, and then don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment, and thank you for watching.